Hey film friends, this is part 2 of the Minolta XD11 took a while to make, but here it is finally. Just to warn you guys, this video will be slightly weird because I don't know why I thought it was a good idea to have a voiceover as well as portions when my friend or I speak to the camera. Hope you guys like it anyway. So in part 1, I talked more about the history behind the XD11, and in this episode, I'll tell you guys more about my experience with the camera. This camera is my favorite out of the few I have in my collection. In fact, most of my Instagram feed is actually made out of photos shot on this camera. With this camera, you can shoot in full manual, aperture, or shutter priority, as well as a metered manual mode. This is really helpful, especially since I usually do street photography where moments come and go really quickly and I need to snap decisively. I know I mentioned this before in part 1, but I'll go more in depth with the functions here, specifically on the viewfinder, as it's what makes this camera super user friendly. So guys, we have arrived at Winnie and we haven't been filming for the past few days because everything has been boring. Hi. To zoom in, I cannot see. Okay, so this is our Airbnb. It's a real nice place and there's like swings, like nice like paintings on the wall and stuff like that. Okay, so the plan is that we're gonna take a couple of photos at the desert, one of the ideas we have. So we'll see what happens. Okay, cool. Now that you know I'm in Winnie here, back to talking about the viewfinder. The viewfinder displays a ton of information. At the bottom of the viewfinder, you can see the aperture that you've selected. There's also a panel at the side which displays different information based on the chosen mode when you half press the shutter button. As mentioned before, this camera boasts 3 different modes. On the shutter priority mode, the side panel will show the aperture that the camera will be shooting at. If it's at aperture priority, then the side panel will showcase the shutter speed. If it's on the manual mode, you'll be able to see what shutter speed you should be shooting at. In that case, you are able to over or underexpose based on how you want your photograph to turn out. All of this, of course, will only be accurate if you set your ASA right. One thing I love about using SLRs are that you can change the lenses. I have 3 with this camera, the 28mm macro, 45mm and 135mm. I usually shoot with either the 28 or the 45 because I prefer framing my subjects from a wider perspective.
What happened was they tried to get us to pay money to reach. If you can see behind this place, there are the sand dunes. To get there, we must pay $500,000. That is how much it's saying on my legal way.
I don't know.
Take it away. I don't know how much. $5 is a lot. So in the end, we just decided to walk around and enjoy this beautiful scenery.
To be honest, I really struggled with the focus on this camera. It's probably a personal problem rather than, actually something wrong with the camera. But I feel that focusing on the SLR is harder than on a rangefinder and definitely takes longer. I could stand at a spot focusing for a full minute before I am confident I got it right. And this could be because the mechanism is different. On this SLR, you focus using this line at the center of the viewfinder. I can't find a better way to describe this honestly, so please bear with me. I'll put a photo here to show you how it looks like. So what you want to do is line up your subject in the 2 different sides of the line. Sometimes it takes a while for me to really nail it, and sometimes I just try to guesstimate based on the image I see in the viewfinder. Overall, I'd say if you have time, use the line method because the guesstimation method always fails me. Otherwise, if you have no choice, then just guesstimate with the higher f-stop. Here we were in a rush most of the time and you can definitely see that my focus is off in some of the photos, and truth be told, I was really discouraged after seeing the scans. I even got it scanned 3 times just to make sure it's not the scanner problem. In the end, I just told myself that it's not gonna matter, just move on and shoot more. Practice will make perfect. Waiting on this girl so that we can go out and shoot. This is my side with my luggage, and this is her side with her luggage.
Okay, don't judge.
Look at the bed. Here are some of my favorite photos from this camera. A huge thank you to my friend Ria. She is a huge contributor to this series. She took some videos, she was my model, she was my travel buddy. Link to her Instagram is in the description below as well. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Please give it a thumbs up if you do, and subscribe if you want to see more. Comment down below. I really love to read them, and I try to respond to every single one of them as soon as I can. That's all from me. Till the next video. Bye.